This family here, also known as the Kardashians, built a multi-billion-dollar empire in large part from the power of social media. From makeup brands to jeans to vodka and shapewear, if it can be sold online, there is a good chance the Kardashians have tried to sell it before. And for every Skims bike short set and Kylie lip kit sold by the Kardashians through glamorous Instagram pictures or viral TikTok campaigns, that means there was somebody on the other end spending their hard-earned money to buy it. And that right there is just one way that social media keeps you poor. The Kardashians' rise to fame almost perfectly parallels that of social media's, from the early days before we knew what a beast it would one day become, to evolving into the full-fledged global capitalist machine that it is today. See, in 2007, their famous reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians debuted, and the very next year, in 2008, is when Facebook overtook MySpace as the most popular social network. In October 2010, Instagram is made, and in under a year, Khloe Kardashian becomes the first of the family to post a picture on the platform, with the other sisters and momager Kris Jenner following soon after. In 2014, Kim Kardashian poses for the highly controversial Paper magazine cover with the tagline, "Break the Internet." And break the internet it does, showing just a taste of how powerful digital virality and branding has become in just a few years. And last on our timeline is a pivotal milestone that marks the beginning of a different type of social media powered selling. And that is Kylie Jenner's launch of Kylie lip kits. In 2015, Kylie Cosmetics launched, and I don't think it's overdramatic to say that it truly ushered in a new era of how celebrities monetize their fame and how social media can sell products. Influencer-led businesses driven by social media marketing are now a staple in how we buy things. And you might be asking, Cara, why are you focusing so much on the Kardashians? Please stop. I don't want to hear about them anymore. But like it or not, they make a fantastic case study for the power social media has over our wallets. Here's my theory. They represent the pillars of how social media keeps us poor. 1, the rise of the influencer. 2, the insane proliferation of social media ads. And 3, the convenience trap. So let's talk about it some more. By the way, if you're new here, hi, I am Cara. I make video essays on the intersection of money, media, and intentional living. Normally I have a microphone with me, but I'm at my parents' house right now, and my microphone decided to break right before I filmed. So today we're on the phone, which is making me a little more mobile. And I can't lie, I quite like it. But anyways, after you watch this video, be sure to check out my How Designer Brands Keep You Poor video, or my most recent one on fake rich flexing yacht culture edition. So go do that and be sure to subscribe. And before we dive deeper into how social media keeps you poor, what about the things that give more than they take? Just spitballing here, what if, for example, there was a company, say like today's sponsor Bilt Rewards, that gave you reward points every single time that you paid rent? Because look, if you're going to be paying rent anyways, why not get points back on shopping, travel, or rent? Well, lucky for us, Bilt Rewards is the real deal. When you sign up, every time you pay rent, Bilt Rewards gives you points back that can be redeemed at local restaurants, fitness classes, or even booking your next flight and hotel. Not to mention, it can help you build your credit history in the process, so it is great for your wallet in so many different ways. Bilt has consistently been ranked as the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. And better yet, there is absolutely zero cost to joining Bilt. Just sign up, and as a member, you'll start earning valuable points when you pay rent and just do everyday spending. If you are a renter like me, Bilt Rewards is a no-brainer. To start earning points now, you can sign up using the link in my description below or by scanning the QR code on my screen. Be sure to use my link or code so that they know that I sent you, and a huge thank you to Bilt Rewards for sponsoring today's video. So returning to the 3 main pillars of how social media keeps us poor, starting with the rise of the influencer. Fun fact, according to Influence City, in 2022, 3% of the total US population could be considered an influencer. It feels like the whole 15 minutes of fame idea has never been more true. Influencing fame is everywhere, and yet what's even more omnipresent is influencers' influence in our spending habits. In my opinion, it's beyond the obvious of an influencer holding up a product. To me, that's simply another form of advertising that's existed for centuries. It used to be in magazines and billboards, and now it's on our feeds. So what I actually think is a bigger factor in social media's power over our wallets is the curated lifestyles that influencers offer us through our feeds. I've said it before, and I will say it again, we just know way too much about each other. Our caveman brains were not meant to ever see this many faces in our life lifetime, let alone think about what body wash and laxatives some random person 1,000 miles away is using and how we too could have it for $20. And so much of what we think we know about each other is completely fake. A whole lot of orchestrated lighting, airbrushed photos, warped videos, and rented props. If you've seen my fake rich flexing video on vacations, I actually dive into how props like rented out fake private jets can be used to warp our sense of reality on social media, making us all think that it's anywhere near normal to ride a private jet on a random Tuesday with our buds. These curated lifestyles are more like an elaborate cosplay than a true documentation of influencer lives. And those curations can cause us to spend recklessly. It becomes a whole new world of temptations that we can seek out and compare ourselves against. Think about it. What is something that you thought about buying or you actually did buy that wouldn't have even crossed your mind if it weren't for social media? I can name a ton of things. Like the stand-up desk and walking pad I have, which I was totally influenced into buying because I saw influencers online use them and tout their efficiency. They've been nice, for sure, but I can still recognize I probably wouldn't have bought it if I hadn't seen the videos on TikTok. And then there are the more subtle purchases. Like if I were honest with myself, would I buy makeup at all if it weren't for social media? At the least, I think I would buy way less. I probably wouldn't even know about some of the makeup styles and products out there without social media's constant barrage of winged eyeliner, brow gels, or contouring kits swamping my brain. And I wouldn't so easily compare myself to others online. For every poreless face and perfectly styled eye I see on social media, my bank account begs a little louder for me to buy more beauty products. And if we zoom out to the other purchases we make, it is astonishing how many of our financial choices are made because of what we see on social media. From professional influencers like Alex Earl, but also from what I'd call the influencers of our personal lives, aka the people in our social circles who we might admire for their fashion or lifestyle. Their posts on social media feed into what we interpret as normal and desirable, and it sends us into the comparison trap where we feel money is the only tool we can use to escape. Except you can't escape. That is the curse of social media, right? It is designed with visibility and comparison in mind. If you don't believe me, think about why we have metrics like likes or follower accounts available. Seriously, what do they truly bring to the table? They are not what connects us to each other, but they do change our relationship to ourselves and others by introducing a level of social competitiveness, and that leads us to comparing, to self-criticizing, and to pouring money into trying to keep up. In other words, social media is an influencer's world, and we're just living in it. In the 1970s, people were exposed to about 500 ads per day. At present, people see roughly 5,000 ads per day. This stat comes from USC's article on the psychology of advertising, and it hints at the next pillar of how social media keeps us poor, and that, my friends, is ads. Oh yes, the girl who makes a living with ads is about to go meta and talk about ads. I see it. I don't think ads are a bad thing. I'm not particularly bothered by it. I still very much listen to Spotify and Pandora with ads on, but I do think it's worth noting how inundated with ads we've become with the rise of social media, because it's simply easier than ever to stumble across an advertisement than it was a few decades ago. And more importantly, the specialized targeting of those ads has become better than ever before. You know how you could be hanging out with friends, talking about how you really want a snow cone machine for the summer, and then boom, the very next day, what do you see? None other than a top-of-the-line snow cone machine. Exactly what you wanted. And suddenly, you are $200 poorer and one snow cone machine richer. Now, I'm not fully convinced that phones are really spying on us, listening to our conversations, though please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, if there's something proven out there. Let me know in the comments. But what I do know is that the art of tracking our digital footprints and then advertising to us through social media has become scary good. As the Institute of Data puts it, quote, targeted ads in digital marketing are not a new concept, but their recent application has taken them to new heights. This is achieved through a mixture of data analytics, brilliant algorithms, and constant monitoring of our online behavior. Every click, every search, even the time spent lingering on a post provides valuable insights into our preferences, our habits, our vulnerabilities. Social media platforms like Facebook use this information to serve up ads that feel eerily personal, showing showing us exactly what we didn't know we wanted, but suddenly can't live without. The result, if you spend a lot of time on social media, you are constantly being nudged into buying things you might not need, possibly with money you don't really have, which can lead you into a cycle of overspending and financial stress. And nowadays, with things like TikTok Shop, you have an increasingly gray area between organic content and ads, aka between the rise of the influencer we just talked about and the ads galore that we are discussing now. It's hard to know whether something is truly a good purchase for you or if it's just something you're being influenced into buying by a creator who gets a cut of every purchase you make. But as I said, I do not think that ads are inherently evil or that we need to get rid of ads altogether, though obviously I am so biased, so take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I do like that our decentralized ad ecosystem nowadays makes it easier for small businesses to reach huge audiences. And obviously I like that our current ad system makes it so that small media businesses like mine can exist. With that in mind though, I think we should be very mindful in how we approach social media and spending, because the ads are getting smarter, and if we're in a vulnerable moment scrolling through our feed at night, they might just convince us to spend money we can't afford to spend. That ease in which we can quickly buy something that we see on social media, that is our third pillar, the convenience trap. Picture this, you are thrown back in time to the year 2000 and you have to go back to school shopping. What do? Well, perhaps you head to the mall. If you can't drive yet, you might have to get a parent to take you, and in your bag are a few $20 bills from babysitting. You and your friends walk around for 3 hours since your parent has a set pickup time. You drop into some favorite stores like PacSun and Hollister, spend some time trying on different outfits to see what they look like off the hanger, and after 3 hours, you leave with a couple of cute outfits and $60 less in your wallet. Since online shopping isn't a big thing yet, and platforms like Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, none of those exist yet, you really don't know if in a month from now that micro trend is over and you're out of style. And so maybe that's the last shopping spree you have for a while. Now, cut to today. Instead of going to the mall where there are only so many stores that you can go to, you just open up your phone. And that phone is basically the door to the world's largest, never-ending, and constantly growing mall. You've been making mood boards on Pinterest that link out to every clothing item you're planning to get for the new school year, and then you see a huge Shein haul on TikTok that displays perfect fall looks. It's that dark academia aesthetic that you've been following for a while. You even know what the outfits look like on a body since the creator is trying them on, so no need to find an in-person dressing room. Even better, every time you click a post, it links you to the store's checkout for that item. You have Apple Pay already loaded on your phone, or your family has Amazon Prime, and so with just a couple of clicks, those clothes are now being shipped to your door. In the same 3 hours that our early 2000s teen had to spend $60 at the mall, our modern day teen could spend hundreds of dollars social media shopping, thousands if they're, a really fast clicker. And this is because the convenience of shopping has skyrocketed. I call this the convenience trap because even though it theoretically makes our lives easier, I think that in the long run, it is screwing us over. From an environmental standpoint, for sure, since fast fashion seems bigger than ever with social media, but also from a financial standpoint. According to a Bankrate survey, nearly half of Americans have made an impulse purchase after seeing a product on social media, and a majority of those buyers have major regrets about the purchase. Bankrate also highlighted that those who made impulse purchases based on products seen on social media in the past year spent an average of $754, especially when paired with the comparison trap that we discussed earlier. The proliferation of targeted ads and the way that social media's algorithms can drive us to feeling extreme emotions, think doom scrolling and hopecore galore, I think we end up defaulting to more primal ways of behaving. We're impulsive, we become vulnerable to social proof and the fear of missing out because social media can make us feel lonely. And then we use instant gratification-driven consumption as a way to self-soothe. It becomes this really vicious cycle that is hard to escape if you're not careful. It's awful for both your mental and your financial health. But I do think there are ways that we can get back, or at least closer to, what social media is originally meant to be, connecting with other humans and building community. Here's what I do, but also leave in the comments below what you do. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this. So 1, I don't have the apps on my phone. Sometimes I slip for a week and have TikTok or Instagram downloaded, but for the most part, they are not allowed to be on my phone. The most I can do is access it on my Safari app on my phone, but If you've tried this before, you will know it is such a bad experience that it really discourages you from ever using it. I also remove all notifications, and at least on Instagram, I try to unfollow anyone I don't personally know. Brands, celebrities, athletes, influencers. I simply do not need to know every time Kim Kardashian posts a photo or if Nordstrom is having some seasonal deal. If I happen to be looking for something specific, I stumble across their website and I see they have a deal going, okay, sure, that's great. But if I'm just minding my own business, trying to see what my friends are up to, there is no reason that I need to know that Nordstrom has a deal going on or that Kim Kardashian is in Mykonos. And lastly, and this one is tricky, I try to essentially audit my emotions when I'm on social media, particularly when I am either feeling jealous on social media or when I'm feeling that urge to buy something. Basically asking myself why I feel that way. Is there something about this moment that is making me feel particularly vulnerable? Like I'm hungry, I'm lonely, I'm tired. And I do not let myself buy anything impulsively. If I want it now, I should want it in a week and I will wait for it. Most of the time, almost all the time, unless it's something like diarrhea medicine, I am not buying things instantly. So those are my tips and my thoughts on how social media keeps you poor, but I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about social media? Do you feel like it's made you spend a little more recklessly? Have you seen that with others? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos, I have a lot of other how X keeps you poor videos, like how timeshares keep you poor, how discounts keep you poor. So go check out those or my playlists after this one. Thank you so much to my patrons on Patreon and those on Buy Me a Coffee for supporting this channel, as well as just those who like and subscribe and watch these videos. I appreciate you all, and I will see you next time. Bye.